I didn't eat a live chicken, if that's what you're getting at.
Well, that was what you intimated.
I didn't eat like a live chicken. That's insane. I would not.
Yeah.
I have put a chicken's head inside of my mouth. That means there was another. That means there was a head inside my head. How wild is that? You know who feels this magic? Women. They have a head inside them sometimes.
You're referring to them creating an entire human inside them?
Yes, because they're 3D printers. The ultimate 3D printer. A flesh 3D printer.
Yes.
Yeah. I want this on record.
Okay.
Women, thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad I don't have to do it. Although women have to do it, but yes.
Actually, that's not true. I am kind of an experience, not an experienced junkie, but I enjoy experiences. So if I had the option of giving birth, I probably would take that option just once. Yep. I don't think I'd. Yeah.
Braver man than I.
Sometimes I think, when I've had a particularly hard poo.
No, I'm just kiboshing that right now, right there. I don't want this to go any further, frankly.
Okay. Let's
what the
do
devil
it
are
this
we
way.
doing? We're doing something about devils. We're doing Monstrous Mythtakes, aren't we?
We are doing Monstrous Mythtakes. Welcome, dear listeners, to Monstrous Mythtakes, a mini episode that is like our Small Mythtakes, but different. Still
That's
small. This one is about monsters. And this one is Aaron's idea because he's very smart. And we're going... Is he not smart?
Yeah, I doubt it on a pretty regular basis.
Okay, this is Aaron's idea because he had the idea. And we are going to... Each of us is going to... did we discuss the particulars of this format? Each of us is just going to give a monster to the other person, a monster name, right?
A name and a short single sentence description, I believe, is in the
and a
in the
short
document.
Single sentence description. Okay, I have names, right? My names are pretty descriptive.
Right.
I think they're pretty descriptive.
Well, you've got names plural. I thought we were just doing...
it depends. Well, it depends. You know, I've got a list of names for however many of these we do, and I don't know how long this will take. It's possible that our imaginations are limited at 3 minutes, for example, and that will not make very good listening at all.
That would be true. But we are looking to, from that simple description, or in case of a fancy name, really expand on these monsters. We want to put them into the world. We want to relate them to things that we've already created, discussed.
Absolutely.
Some ecology, how they relate to culture, that sort of fun stuff.
How do we kill them?
That's kind of important. What kind of loot might what you get from these monsters?
Gold coins.
Mm-hmm.
In our world, every animal carries at least one gold coin.
And it pops out of them in a sort of like visual, and there's always a noise. I think it's a ding, pops out of them.
Ding. Yeah. Is that canon? Is that canonical now?
I don't think it is.
We'd have to work out why that is. The god of the arcade god.
Would maybe the god of appropriate fiscal rewards?
Yeah, that's really good. No, that's not canon, everybody. Please stop listening. In fact, I want you to fast forward 35 seconds. I'm hoping it's going to take us 35 seconds to work out who goes first.
Yeah, fair enough. How about we do Junk and Pong, since this is also going to be visual? So
wait, no. Junk and Pong.
There we go. And
John can Pong.
Oh, he got me. I don't know if he really did get me, but it does look like he got me. So.
I did.
All right,
I don't like cheating.
You're like a brother to me. I'd never not believe you. All right, so you get to pick.
That goblin said that we would make out, but it's not going to happen. Not in this episode.
I hope people have enjoyed our little intro and introduction to Skip's Knot.
Yeah, it's going to be so good.
Although
people watching this will have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. That introduction isn't going to be here. Anyway, okay. I'll start. Okay. Let me give you something. So let me give you a little bit of background. So something that I've established in this world is that we have a lot of eagles.
It's true.
So we have sewer eagles. We have lake eagles. Those are the two types of eagles that we have defined.
Yes.
I would like you to tell me a little bit about the great burrowing trench eagle. Now, the great burrowing trench eagle also has a scientific name, and it is the Phocomet aguila maxima, and that is just bad Latin that I made up.
Everyone loves a bit of bad Latin. I love bad Latin.
Yeah. Would you like me to send you this, put this into our chat so that you can see, yes, with your with your wizard eyes, with your real human eyes. This probably doesn't make for very good viewing, but I think that...
But the vamping does allow me time to start turning ideas over in my head.
Now, not all of my monsters are going to be eagles, but I do need you to know that some of my monsters are going to be eagles, definitely.
Yeah. Now, the first thing that leaps to my mind with that name is that it was because we did have this great war that
we did have a great war,
between the Great Consociate and the Unfettered League. And when you say trench eagle, it really does make it sound like it received this name in the trenches. So I think it is. Yeah, I think it is something that, burrowing. So it goes through the earth, and it's in relatively recent. Although the war ended about a century ago. I think we've established there will be a timeline at some point, which I'll need to keep referring to.
The war ended with the Bloody Avenues Agreement, which was a quarter of a century ago.
Quarter of a century, yes, it wasn't anywhere near something like that. So yes, and the war was
actually, yeah.
What's the other one I really like? The To Be Fair, and then you have a character called Toby Fair. I can't remember who.
Toby Fair.
One of the YouTubers I used to watch a great deal had that. Anyway,
I like YouTube and the algorithm of YouTube.
I like half of those things. The Great Burrowing Trench Eagle.
Yes.
As opposed to the lesser burrowing trench eagle, which is no more than vermin and nuisance. The great burrowing trench eagle is, I'm definitely thinking like the size and the rough size of like a hippopotamus. Like it's big, much bigger than a human.
Okay. Yeah. I like it.
Now, why is there something called burrows is called an eagle? One, because it definitely has a big beak, a raptor-like beak, and so burrows. I'm thinking it burrows with claws. It's not a worm-like burrower.
Can it fly?
Do you know what? That's sort of what I was thinking right now. And what I'm imagining in my head are, I'm trying to think of the word. Oh, Patagia.
Patagia
is the skin that flaps between limbs, like flying squirrels.
Oh, the membrane.
Yes. So I believe that's called a Patagia. And if I wasn't going to make a lot of tapping noises, I'd look it up. But I'm just going to roll with my memory.
We're scientists. I'm something of a scientist myself. A lot of science is just making up words for things that already have words.
Yeah, so is writing. So we have that in common. Right. So that's what so physical wise, I'm imagining something long but large, roughly
Yeah.
hippopotamus in proportions,
Yeah,
with
buddy.
an enormous head with a raptor-like beak. It's got digging claws. I'm going to say 6 of them. 2 really, really big ones at the front, the medium-sized ones that sort of pack to the sides, and then smaller rear ones that just sort of give a lot of sort of forward momentum and pushing, all with like big digging claws on them, which I would say, broadly speaking, do have some resemblance to talons and pounces, although modified for digging. But there's a sort of visual link there, and between them a sort of rippling Patagia. So when it's burrowing, all they do.
Patagia is a good name for a band.
You're right, 100%. Hey there, Las Vegas. We are Rippling Patagia.
We're Rippling Patagia. Yeah. That would be cool. Yeah. We should learn an instrument. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Yep. There you go. You can be the lead harmonicist. What is the term for somebody who plays harmonica?
Harpist. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Anyway.
I never researched. My research went as far as to purchase this harmonica, and then never look at it again until I have to make a noise into this microphone.
Right, fair enough. I mean, we tend to blow in, which is more than I do.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I do.
Moving right along. Right, so that's a rough physicality. Now, I think
physicality.
Also a good name for them. They're the band that comes on before Rippling Patagia.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So I am thinking now that it's called a trench eagle, partially because in its natural environment, it digs like loose earth tunnels. So larger, mid-sized creatures sort of fall into this loose earth pits that they make, where they can be preyed upon by the trench eagle, which is a sort of somewhere between a ambush predator and a scavenger.
Okay. I like that.
However, during the Great War between the two empires, when people were making these trenches, essentially building giant stretches of man-made versions of what a trench eagle does naturally, they would get confused, and then there's all these individuals moving around in trenches that sound exactly like their prey, and so that they would burst out of the sides of trenches.
Brutal. Yeah,
absolutely. So it was not common, but nor was it unheard of for there to be a sort of a subtle vibration, and the veterans all start leaping out of the trench, even if it meant going into the sight lines and of your opponent, to get out of the way of this enormous predatory ambush creature bursting out of the earth.
I like that a lot. Can I add something?
Let
me add something. I feel like the greatest danger there would be in fresh trenches that have just been dug, because over time, I know a lot of trenches become sort of reinforced and sort of more lived in. So I feel like in older trenches, they would probably have more like what do I call that? Like,
and so forth.
Yeah,
yes,
that's right. Yeah, and that kind of thing. Whereas, on fresh battlefields or in places where people have been entrenched for quite a while, it'd be less of an issue.
Of course. But ideally, in any trench warfare, you move that trench forwards.
You move that trench
dig a new
forward.
One.
Yeah. So it would always be a developing. Developing problem.
I like that. I'm thinking because they are purely carnivorous predators, that their flesh is not good to eat. So even soldiers who hadn't been eating poor rations, perhaps even starving and so forth, would only eat trench eagle in the most dire circumstances. I'm saying that I don't know. I don't think they're a clean creature. I get this sense that they might be like full of parasites. Now, there's a
Probably,
question. Are they a natural creature?
Are any creatures in our world natural creatures? This is a difficult thing because our world has been through so many ages. And I think we've established it's kind of difficult to tell.
Yeah.
Although, actually, I think what was the... We did have a story about a worm that... And we did develop, I think, some of the early prehistory of the world. So I think it was like in like a half paragraph. So we could look at that later. But
Yes.
I think some creatures are natural. Some creatures have been created or brought in or something.
And I like the idea that, given that we have established lake eagles and sewer eagles, that the trench eagle is... they do all share an ancestor. So since we haven't defined what lake and sewer eagles look like, they're going to have something in common to show that they have a common ancestor. Whether it's natural or not really important at this stage, just that it is definitely not good eating, mostly good. Dangerous.
They wouldn't put it in a sandwich, wouldn't put it in a halaya dog.
Hell no. Not unless you're, what's what I'm looking for? Dishonest? Highly dishonest? And
highly dishonest. No, no reputable halaya dog slinger would absolutely give that. Yeah.
And certainly not one that wanted his customers to come back.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, what benefit would you get from fighting and defeating the great burrowing trench eagle?
Well, look, I feel like I mean they're burrowing, right? Like so it's possible that they live in a... They don't just live in trenches, right? Like they live beneath the ground. They
hunt in trenches. Yes.
They hunt in trenches. Would they have a complex system of burrows? If they do, then if you kill one of them, you could then use that in warfare, perhaps to undermine enemy trenches.
Sure, it's very situational, but you have given me
very situational.
A great idea. So we'll further establish that yes, they do. They create burrows, but how's this for a notion that their bile has a
I'm listening.
Has a unique property. So in nature, will they reinforce their burrows with their bile? That actually makes it a much harder, almost concrete-like hardness to the sides of its burrows, making them able to repel other trench eagles.
Yeah.
But when they consume certain metals and so forth, they, like many birds do, they have to, like eagles, they have to cough up a pellet of things that they can't otherwise digest.
Of course.
And their bile causes certain interactions with, I'm going to say something that's not quite so common like iron or steel. Let's say, we do have things with brass. So copper and brass undergo a transmutation with trench eagle bile.
Transmutation, okay.
Yes. Yeah. And it turns into a brand new metal.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
What will this metal be called?
Spit steel.
Spit steel it is. Done. It should have a cool name and a vulgar name. So
vulgar name is Spit Steel.
Vulgar name is definitely Spit Steel.
Yeah,
because it's too good.
It's too good. It's good. Too good. It sounds good.
And Egalium, for its
why not?
Cool name. Yeah.
All
right. The properties of that metal are it's it's tougher, stronger, and lighter than it is in general, and highly resistant to all acids.
Yeah. Okay. So now you have to make some kind of weapon set out of it.
Yeah. Or armor set.
Or armor set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or marmoset.
Yes. I mean, theoretically, you could make some sort of artificer creature made in the shape of a marmoset out of this spit steel.
This is interesting. You say artificer. I say artificer. So interesting.
Yeah, it's just where one puts one's emphasis is not terrifically important.
That's so funny. Oh my god. Why are people? We should charge money for this. This is real comedy.
It was real something. Let's hope it's comedy.
It's definitely real.
So I think that feels pretty good. I think we've got a danger. We've got a little bit of history. We've got an ecology, its relationship to people, and a reason why I might want to kill one. Because if you track it down to its burrow, you'll find these pellets, and if you kill one, you might find some spit steel inside.
I'm going to need you to write a paragraph on what you just said. Yep. Or actually, I can pull it out of probably the auto-generated script so that I can provide that to someone to draw a picture of this eagle. I love the description. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you shoot me through the auto-generated stuff, I'll
shoot you.
Cool, love it. It could be a long shot, but yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Would you like to hear then my name and brief description?
Okay.
All right. I'm going to copy it, ready to go.
Okay.
Rokraken.
Okay.
Or Rokraken. Rokraken.
Oh my god.
These burrowing creatures are smaller than their watery cousins, but far more numerous. Now, I swear to whatever deity you care to name, listeners, that the fact that both Chris and I have come up with like burrowing creatures is pure coincidence.
That's amazing. Okay. These burrowing creatures are smaller than their watery cousins, but far more numerous. Rokraken.
I'll be honest with you. With that little description, I cut back a whole bunch. I started inventing like a whole thing with them, and I was like, no, the whole point of this is that I'm not the one inventing this. Just give it to Chris.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. No, I was much the same. I was just like, I have all these ideas. I'll write down like a monster name, and then inside of my head, there's like, oh, yeah, that's what it is. No, I can't. No. You know, it's because once you put art out there, it no longer belongs to you. It belongs to whoever you allow to change that art, which is the audience, or in our case, you, Aaron.
Yes.
Okay. Allow me now to change your art into something that everyone can enjoy.
Hell yes.
Good Christian
right
monster.
Now, nobody can enjoy it. Like
no one can enjoy it. A Rokraken. No one can enjoy that.
Nope.
Okay. This is what I'm thinking. I am thinking that when we think of the Kraken, we think obviously of essentially a giant squid that lives in the oceans. The rock kraken are very, very different. They look superficially like they're sort of giant squid cousins, but they're not giant. They're actually quite small. They're probably the size of a house cat. Now, the rock kraken are a dangerous monster because it's never just one rock kraken. They live in colonies, and they live in colonies of between 200 and 300 individuals.
That's a lot of rock kraken.
That's a lot of rock kraken. The cold rock kraken, I'm going to say rock kraken, I think.
I think that sounds better.
Yeah, the rock kraken. The cold rock kraken, because what they do is that they burrow into hard rock, especially near near cliff faces. So where you get things like where naturally where those sort of what do you call them? Pigeonholes where pigeons, where doves live naturally.
Yes.
Rock kraken are in a similar sort of space, but instead of being on the side of the cliff, they'd be like inside of the cliff, right? Like they are burrowing creatures. They burrow faster than you can imagine. These creatures, the rock kraken, are not natural creatures, because nothing natural could burrow or breed or attack as fast as these things could. They have a we're talking a lot about things that come out of creatures. Where I think, like, I'm getting this thing, like, you know how like octopuses and squids, they'll have like the ink that comes out of them when they are in a dangerous situation or whatever. These things have that too, but instead of ink, it's acid, and it's an acid that coats their many tentacles that they have. And at the end of those tentacles, it dissolves whatever is in front of them, which helps with their burrowing. Now, it's never just like the one rock kraken that's burrowing. It's always the colony. It moves. You know how starlings kind of move in a...
Yes.
It's sort of like that. They all move together in whichever kind of direction makes sense to them. And in a lot of cases, the direction that makes sense of them is the direction of their prey. Yeah. In their natural habitat of cliff faces and things like that, their natural prey is whatever comes close. They feed on seabirds. They feed on pelicans, albatrosses, albatrosses,
all sorts of gulls.
All sorts of gulls. But they also have been known to venture a little further out. So any coastal caravans have to be sort of careful. Any like coastal roads, you hear stories about the rock krakens. Rock krakens attacking them and things like that. So this would be an equal threat, I would say, to, like, I don't know, there's bandits on this road. Oh, there's rock krakens on this road. Right. Or there's, that kind of thing.
Is there anything that a caravan or a wary traveller might be able to do to dissuade a rock kraken swarm from taking over, from killing them?
This is a great question. I think that although they're non-natural animals, I don't think there's a great intelligence or anything like that. That's I don't think there's a great intelligence that's like guiding them or anything like that. I think at the end of the day, they are just animals that are following instincts and things like that. I feel like there would be things that they could do. Something to do. I'm thinking like, yeah.
I was just thinking, because they are definitely unnatural. Perhaps there is something almost folkloric that might be able to dissuade them, to hold them off.
See, I was thinking of other things that go inside the ground, like the sandworms of Arrakis, and the kinds of things that can attract them. I think perhaps something that could dissuade them could be a great amount of noise, or a great amount of, you know how sandworms are attracted to like the rhythmic kind of thing. I think any rhythmic pounding would not be pleasant for them. I think they would be reluctant to attack something like that.
So a wise caravan or traveller might actually get a large steel drum and beat that as they travel in known areas.
If you can afford a good thumper, then your caravan should be safe. It's not 100% guaranteed. There have been cases of rock krakens attacking caravans, that are
just
protected
they
by
get
thumbs,
starving enough that they're willing to go through it. It's not loud enough to do more than just irritate them slightly.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking also, as well, they've tried to, during our war, between the Unfettered League and the Great Consociate Empire, one or both sides tried to weaponize these things. They tried to actually like gather them up and see if they can like release them into an area, and it just didn't work because they're not listening.
You know what that is? That makes them the our equivalent of landmines.
Huh.
They like people put them down, but and maybe you manage to get some area denial, but basically in the end, all you do is make a giant headache for everybody in the area, and especially after the war.
Yeah, and it's that's so perhaps this is a good reason for them to be in places where they wouldn't naturally be as well. Maybe they just maybe they've been transported from where they usually are more inland, so now you get them inland, which would be an interesting problem to have.
Yeah, it definitely seems to me like rock kraken, the way you've described it, and I really do like this. They're not a monster in the monster manual for your heroes to fight. They're much more like an environmental.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, like an environmental problem. Yeah, it's more like an earthquake or a landslide, right? Like
yes, it's just a hungry earthquake that follows you.
That's right. Yeah,
it's a terrifying thought.
So I'm thinking also like the way they look is, I'm imagining sort of that long kind of
squid-like,
that squid-like, phallic, strong, throbbing head, and then I'm thinking probably like a random amount of tentacles, at least 10, right? Like at least 10 in there. And at the end, I think they should have they've got a beak on the inside, right? Lots of beaks today. That's good. Beaks and burrowing.
Beaks and burrowing.
Beaks and burrowing.
Name of the episode: Monstrous Mythtakes. Beaks and burrowers.
Beaks and burrowers. We did it. And I think on the end of the tentacles as well, where they secrete this gunk, they also have little claws, I think. Yeah. And colors?
Yes.
I'm thinking brown. It's not very interesting, but I just think they'd be brown.
Yeah, no, totally fair. Do you reckon the claws on the end that secrete this essentially earth saliva, like it dissolves
earth saliva?
Do you think it's also envenomed, so like they inject it into people, and as they slowly dissolve from the inside out, that's what
I don't want it to be. No, I don't want it to be venom. I think if it stays as acid, then it can still hurt a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it would just
so they're still dissolving people.
It's still dissolving. Yeah, it will still dissolve people. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
In my head, I have this notion that because they're burrowing with this acid-tipped, like 10 plus limbs, that they're almost spiraling through the earth, like a bunch of acidic, angry, hungry corkscrews.
Yeah, because I think because they are created creatures, because they are created creatures, they move fast. Like they should not be moving this fast. Like an animal that evolved naturally, it wouldn't do that, and like the physics doesn't quite work. So there's something hinky going on there.
And I'd suggest the Earth heals a little bit after them. Otherwise, 300 holds to the Earth. So that's
absolutely
part of that magic that's going on.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. I don't have anything more about this rock krakens, but
no, I love it. But you did bring up something that I hadn't considered about the great burrowing trench eagle. Is its we talked a lot about its appearance, but not its coloration. And now I kind of want to revisit that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's revisit it. What color do you, Aaron, think that this great burrowing trench eagle should be?
Well, I kind of wanted to do a bit of sexual dimorphism, since we're bringing out the old biological lingo.
Yeah, sexual.
And have the female great burrowing trench eagle in dun browns and the occasional sort of earthen reds. They're also slightly
That's very
larger.
sad. I'm so sad. Can I just say, nature.
Yeah.
This is just a little call out to nature, because nature makes a lot of female animals very dull colored. Nature, do better. Okay, thank you. That's it.
Well, in this case, I'm nature, so I should do better. But in this case, I'm not. I do, and I would love the males to be an absolute riot of still largely dun colors, but lots more reds and oranges. They look like like a particularly ostentatious sunset.
Oh, that's beautiful. An ostentatious sunset. Yeah.
Or like a polished awesome. Jasper, I think it is that I'm thinking of. So they're still not like, in terms of, they're not like a peacock bright or anything like that, but they are a good deal more varied in colors. They've got striations, and yes, like I say, like an ostentatious sunset.
I love that a lot. Yeah, I think that's beautiful, man.
All right, cool.
You know what this means is that we have successfully completed a beautiful, sexy, throbbing, proud episode of Monstrous Mythtakes.
We have,
which is really good. So just to give you a little bit of a data here, our last episode was 57 minutes, and I managed to cut it down in audio to just under 30 minutes. I did an excellent job.
You did an amazing job, and that's still just a squidge longer than we really want.
Yeah. And this one, I don't think there's a lot here to take out. I'll be pretty brutal. I tend to be pretty brutal. So that's good, right?
Yeah.
We did a good job.
We did a bloody good job.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. What do we say? What do we say to our listeners, to our strong, beautiful,
I've got an idea. Yes.
Sexy, desirable listeners?
Bye.
Brilliant. Bye.
I'm a wordsmith.
Goodbye forever.